Welcome. You're watching Rugby with Rifle, a podcast about all things rugby and life, with your host, Danny Pabone and Rifle Scudder.
Welcome to Rugby with Rifle, a podcast about all things rugby and life. As always, I'm joined here with my friend Rifle. Rifle, how are you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you, Danny. Once more, 1.5 sleep, and then we're in for the next test match. So very exciting times. So waiting for the weekend rugby, but doing good. How are you? How about you?
Doing good, doing good. I'm on the road this week down here in Georgia, visiting a few friends, going to a wonderful summit, talking with different investors and friends and stuff like that. So having a good time down here. So I know you were on the road in South Africa, and now it's my turn to travel a little bit. So yeah, exciting stuff.
There you go. Wonderful.
So in this episode, everyone, we just wanted to cover round 3 of the Rugby Championship, and what a set of matches it was. Very exciting stuff. And also give an overview of the Women's 2025 Rugby World Cup that's currently going on, and they've reached their quarterfinal stage of the tournament. And we're gonna talk about some highlights for the South African women's team. We'll talk about that when we get to that. So a lot of great stuff in the Women's Rugby World Cup going on as well. So with that, let's just get to it, Rifle. And just talk about round 3 of the Rugby Championship. And wow, both games were amazing, and both games right to the end were nail biters. And what more can you expect from 4 powerhouses of rugby in this tournament? It was a lot of great action this weekend.
There was some good rugby. There was some great rugby, and then there was some poor rugby as well, mostly from South Africa, the poor part.
Yeah.
But the most exciting part for me of the whole weekend, if you're a rugby lover, I had to say, from my point of view, was Australia-Argentina, last move of the game. Australia gets a penalty. If they kick it over, they tie. They draw the game. So in the captain's mind, Wilson, he's got to be thinking, do we take, people are saying, go for post, and just draw the game. If you draw, you get all those points for not losing for more than 7 points, and, all of those things that come into the bonus point system. And when you watch it, you could see in his mind, he was thinking, and, the kicker came and said, listen, I can put this over. If you want me to kick it, I'll kick it. And he stood there for a few seconds and he said, go for it. We're going to, that's so amazing look how poor Australia were last year, 2 years ago, into this before the British and Irish Lions. And to stand there and have the captain back the team and say, I believe in you guys. We're not going to kick this. We're not taking the draw. We're going for the win. And then obviously, I think when a captain backs the team like that and the whole team sees the captain's confidence and, and they all piled in and they did it and they won. In the end, they scored the try, got it. That is just beautiful. I don't care what team you support, just a team who was down and out saying, we're going not for the draw, we're going for the win. It was amazing. So to me, that was the highlight of the whole weekend's rugby.
Yes, and it continues a trend that Australia has had since the British and Irish Lions tour, where they had their, and you've spoken about this before, Rifle, where they had their backs against the wall, so to speak, and they just find a way and a determination to come out with the win, and you know not to continue to rub the wound for you. That first game against South Africa, where they were down by multiple tries, and then to come back in the second half, and get it together, and the determination and the will to continue to fight no matter what, which is something that happens frequently in rugby when the top teams are playing, is that don't give up mentality no matter what, no matter how bad things seem. You just got to continue to fight, continue to play, continue to fight for your teammate and for yourself. And, sometimes you're not going to come out victorious, but sometimes you will. And that's I feel like that's the trend that the
Yeah,
Australian team is going through right now. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So two things about that thing that you just mentioned. South Africa leading by after 20 minutes by almost 20 points, 17. And I personally was thinking, here comes a 50. I mean, South Africa put everything together. They could not put a foot wrong. So Australia being so far behind, Australia have never beaten the Springboks at Ellis Park. It's at altitude. I mean, everything is against them, and yet they came back. It's so amazing that they actually believed and they kept themselves in the game and going forward and did not give up, because things can go really awry when you are 20-0, down after 15, 20 minutes, and things are just not working for you. And you know that you've never won on this field and you don't stand a chance. But they stuck it out and they came back and they won. That's the one thing about that scenario. And then the second is a worrying trend for South Africa, is that when we do play, and it happened to us in Italy as well, not in Italy, but against Italy, exactly the same thing. After the first couple of minutes, we're doing so well and the guys are playing a marvelous game, and then we lose. We didn't lose to Italy, we lost the second half. But what I'm saying is, why can't the team build on that first 20 or 30 minutes? Why can't they build on their 20-0, 30-0 lead that they have? In Australia, we lost the game. Against Italy, we just lost the second half, but it's no good. You start the game on such a high and everything is perfect, but you can't finish the game that way. How many times have you and I said on this program, the game is 80 minutes. You can't just play 60 minutes. Remember England in the Six Nations last year? They were 60 minutes. They were ahead of everyone all the time. In the last 20 minutes, they fell out of the bus. New Zealand as well, last year and the year before, doing so well until the last couple of minutes, leading in front, and then the last couple of minutes. And this previous week, exactly the same, almost, New Zealand up 14-0 after the first 18 minutes or so. For South Africa to come back from that, to give themselves a chance, very, very good. But then for New Zealand as well, to be leading and everything happening in your advantage, but then at the end of the game, you're biting your nails because, here come the other team, and it's very, very scary about what could happen. So, teams sometimes start well and they don't end, or like Australia, they started against South Africa not very well in the previous test at Ellis Park, but they came back and won. So it just shows you the grit of different teams, where they behind by so many points, but they just stick it out. And in this competition in rugby, many times there's a do not give up, can't quit mentality in the game, and you have to play till the 80th minute. So that's what I picked up in those two games, specifically with South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia.
Yeah. And to give credit to Argentina, again, the first, half They were really giving it to Australia, and
Brilliant. Yeah,
I
excellent.
mean, uh, the two first half tries. I don't know if you were able to watch the game, right? But the both of them were what I mean.
Yeah,
The
excellent rugby.
Argentina's. When I was watching a replay of the game, the tries that Argentina scored in this game against Australia remind me of France, the style of play of France, where beautiful passing, speed, spreading the ball. And I was like, wow, the Argentine team looks
Yes.
amazing in this game. But
Yeah, very much so. They definitely improved so much, and definitely a force to be reckoned with now. Every team
yes,
that plays against them.
yes. And but unfortunately, the heartbreak at
Yes,
the
for
end.
them.
Yes, for them, and that's actually one of the plays that we're going to highlight. That last try scored by Australia in that game is one of the plays we're going to highlight later on in the episode. So yeah, I mean, man, such a heartbreaking loss for the Argentine. Thinking
Yes.
that you had the game in the bag, but at the
Yeah.
end, it got taken away from you.
Right.
Yeah, and we spoke a little bit about the New Zealand South Africa games, second match of round three, and this was a historic game in many ways. Number one, Artie Surveyor, the captain for the All Blacks, playing his 100th uh, test match for the All Blacks, so 100th cap. So now
I
he's a
think Scott Barrett
Centurion.
was still the captain, wasn't he?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was Artie Surveyor not the captain in this
I
game?
don't think so. He was previously
Okay.
when Scott didn't play, but I think when he came back, he was made captain again. And obviously, when you play
Okay.
your 100th game, you run out on the field by yourself. So it may seem, if you don't know, that he is, but they
Okay.
just allow him to run out. So I speak under correction. I might be wrong, but I think Scott Barrett is the captain again. But let's make sure
Okay.
about that after the episode.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Wasn't aware of that. I thought he was still the captain, but he is a great player nonetheless, and he's become a Centurion now with his 100th game, and it's just amazing to watch. Another huge stat is the All Blacks' 51st consecutive win at Eden Park, and I had to look it up. Their last loss at Eden Park was against France in July of 1994. So
94, yeah.
31 years ago. 31 years
Yep.
ago was their last loss at Eden Park. So wow, what an amazing streak they're
Yeah.
on at that stadium.
Yeah. I think South Africa threw away a very, very good opportunity to break that record.
Mm,
Yeah, those first two tries from New Zealand against us. I mean, oh my God, we were obstruction, running in front of one another, knocking the ball on
yeah.
tackle, open your legs, Villy, and the guy slides through your legs. I mean, it was a comedy of errors. It was absolutely shocking to me, my opinion, those first couple of minutes. And then you can't come back if you're 14-0 down to the All Blacks
Mm,
in that weather in New Zealand at Eden Park and think you're going to win. You've left yourself so much work to come back with, which they did in the end in the second half, when we changed players and we brought some new guys on. We did, and at the end we were really, really close, but man, we just made so many mistakes. And those first two tries, soft tries basically, that we can say. But New Zealand, phenomenal on the day. I think they really outcoached us. They saw where our weak points were. They saw in the line out when Satiti took the ball in the back and just passed it to Will Jordan on the inside. I mean, they knew exactly where to go and what to do. When we did that move where you pick the player up, not with a line out, but it's loose play in the back, they knew exactly what the rules and the law was. So the captain came around back and just stop the ball, knock the ball down, our ball, close to their try line. We knock it forward, they get the ball advantage. So they were well coached, well trained. They knew what to look for. So when that move happened, they exactly went to the position to absolutely stop it. We lost the ball. So well done, New Zealand. But we had a great team. We had a great opportunity to break that record. The last time South Africa played against them, there were three players: Willie Leroux, Sia played, and Eben Etzebeth. Those are the only three guys that played in the previous game at Eden Park against New Zealand. And that was a game where South African guy got sent off. He tackled Dan Carter and all of that. So we blew a chance here to take that record away from them. But on the day, New Zealand played better than us. They deserved the win. Well done to them. Just hopefully we can do better this weekend, because my goodness, those first 20 minutes were absolutely, it reminded me of when I was a little boy, when I was, oh my goodness, 6, 7, 8 years old, and South Africa played against the All Blacks, and we played in New Zealand. Me being in South Africa, we would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my dad would, if we would have friends over, and we'd sit in the lounge and watch the rugby, and we'd, most of the time we would lose during the 80s to New Zealand. Nobody beat the All Blacks, especially not in New Zealand at that stage. So you knew it was just how far we're going to, they were so good. So I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning here. The previous night I had to renew my subscription to Flow Rugby. So I had to pay all that money, woke up early just to sit and watch them lose again. I was like, oh, this takes me back to when I'm a youngster and I'd watch the game so early in the morning and come away with a loss. So hopefully this weekend we can do better. So we'll see what happens. But New Zealand definitely on the day, they were the better team, and they won, and good to them.
Yes, yes. Yes, and they're currently ranked #1 in the world. I believe South Africa dropped to #3, if I'm not mistaken.
We dropped to 3, and Ireland Ireland moved up to #2. Yeah.
Okay. And then France is at #4, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So
yeah.
And it's still tight. It's not like I think between Ireland and on the point system is still very close. So yeah, those top 4 teams are, and it's just something, again, something you've said many times is, when the top teams are playing, any team could beat the other. It comes down to probably, and we see it in both of these matches where, first match, Australia, Argentina, was only a difference of 4 points. And then South Africa, New Zealand was a difference of only 7 points. So it comes down to the last minute in a lot of these games when the top teams play.
Yeah, definitely. Just one try in it all the time. So very, very tough, very good, very entertaining rugby.
Yes, yes, it is. Okay. So let's just move on to just like I said, a little overview of the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup that's currently occurring in England. And really no surprises here, Rifle. The top 4 ranked women's rugby teams won their pools. So you have England in Pool A, Canada in Pool B, New Zealand in Pool C, and France in Pool D. They won their pool. And those are the top 4 teams in the world. So not much surprises in that aspect of the Women's Rugby World Cup. And just looking at the point differential for England at 191 plus 191. Wow. So needless to say, they've dominated the competition so far in this Rugby World Cup. So yeah.
Yes.
And another key aspect of this competition is the South African women's team making it to the knockout stage for the very first time. in the Rugby World Cup. So they've made history this year with them making it to the knockout stage.
Yeah, we had a very tough game against Italy, and we've never beaten Italy before. So beating Italy was a really high standard to set for the team, but they did it. And now what's very just interesting, I think, is on Saturday coming, the Springbok men are playing the All Blacks, and in the World Cup, the Springbok women are playing the Black Ferns, the All Black ladies as well. So it's South
Yeah.
Africa, New Zealand in both those games on Saturday. So I mean, can you imagine just New Zealand, how the rugby fever is pumping in that country right now? But I mean, look at Canada, eh? You know, you talk about the US women, they did pretty well. They had a couple of good games, didn't make it through, but you and I went to watch them play against Fiji. We enjoyed it. They're doing well, they're improving. But look at Canada there, you know, number 2 in the world there according to rankings right now. So that's pretty amazing for Canada. So very interesting what's happening there. And even Scotland, who are, not top 5, but I mean, they're playing against England. So they got a very tough game. They got the worst draw that there possibly is to face England in the quarter. So we'll have to see what Scotland can do. But I would guess on form right now that England will definitely go through to the semis.
Yeah, that'll be my bet as well. Although, if you're a gambler, put some money on Scotland, and if Scotland ends up winning, you may make a lot of money.
You definitely could with the bookies against this one, yeah.
But I'm not a gambler, or I don't bet on sports. So just my little bit of advice to all you gambler and sport bettors out there. So yeah, it's been a very interesting, interesting, a lot of great games, but not surprising so far with the results. Again, the top 4 ranked teams winning the polls. No surprise there. So yeah, so like you said, both the women's and men's South African teams are going to be playing New Zealand this weekend. So
Correct.
it's going to be great rugby on both sides. We'll see how the South African women's team could do against New Zealand. We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see.
So yeah, so you have the quarterfinals this weekend, and then they have a break the following week, and then the bronze medal game, third place will be, and the final will be on the 27th of September. So by 27th of September in the evening, we will know who won the Women's Rugby World Cup. And I don't know. What are your thoughts, Sue? I don't know. I guess because England has been dominating so much, I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick England.
Yeah, they've just, for the last couple of years, they've just always been a step ahead. I mean, even the Black Ferns, they've been doing well, but they can't consistency that England have. So, and even if we look there, as you correctly said, I mean, England's points 191-4. Look at New Zealand, who's next, 129. Now you've got France at 150, so they're also looking good. But just the consistency of England and a couple of years just being number 1 and not being dethroned. It doesn't matter how good New Zealand or France are. They just can't knock them off the number 1 pedestal. So I would agree with you there that I would put all my rugby wisdom on England to take the Women's Cup again. They're just that good.
Yes. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see what happens in the end. Yeah, it's going to be interesting last 2 rounds in the Rugby Women's World Cup against with the top 4 ranked teams badly out. We shall see.
Yep.
So just to, as always, to end this episode with a few highlights of games. So, from the Rugby Championship and also games from the pool stage of the Rugby Women's World Cup. I got that backwards. Women's Rugby World Cup. little tongue twister there. So yeah, so let's start off with Australia against Argentina, round 3 of the Rugby Championship. Let me just see if I can make this a little bigger here, so I can really highlight the play. Just move this over a little bit. So this is the play, the heartbreaking play at the end of the Australia-Argentina match in round 3 of the Rugby Championship. And if everybody notices in the bottom left here, the time is 85:04. So we're 5 minutes in extra time at this point. And we have the Australian team about probably about 2 meters away from the Argentine try line, and they're fighting to get this ball in at the end of the game to get the win. And let's just play here. So we have now they're like about a foot away from the try line. Still not in. Pass, and there's the try right there. Such a heartbreaking loss for Argentina. Holding them back 3 times, really playing good defense right there at the try line. But that last pass, Australians got it in and scored the try. Oh man, what a heartbreaking loss. And the thing about this game also, Rifle, is Argentina had kicked the penalty kick at the like 79th minute or something like that. So I'm guessing most of the fans were like, okay, it looks like Argentina is going to be able to pull this off. But yeah, Australia scored. And I could imagine the Argentine players were like, can the referee blow the whistle already? Come on.
Yeah. Hard luck.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So the second match I wanted to highlight here is New Zealand versus South Africa here. And again, round 3 of the Rugby Championship. And this is here we go. So we have here wow.
And there, Danny, if you can take it maybe just, I don't know, 3 seconds back where that guy dummies and Cheslin Colby. Right. You'll see now the number 14, he throws a dummy there. Look at that. In rugby, right, one of the first lessons that you will hear your coach say is always, if it's a one-on-one, if it's a one-on-two, you always go for the man with the ball. You never, ever let him dummy you. If he dummies, if he takes and he passes to the other guy, so be it. You could not do anything about that. But when you are 4 or 5 years old and you step onto the rugby field with your bare feet in the thorns in South Africa, they tell you, go for the man with the ball. And now you can just continue there.
Yeah.
Falls for the dummy. If he had tackled him, you know, they don't have that. They're not 7-0 ahead. They, you know, obviously the whole game. I'm not saying that we would. I'm just making a point here of saying when you play rugby, that is rugby 101. When you're in a tackle position and you go for the team that's attacking, you always go for the man with the ball. End of discussion. And we made an absolute such a silly mistake there and cost us 7 points.
And
But
for all of
what a brilliant kick by Barrett. I mean, what a, South Africa
Mhm.
come up with our rush defense. They've obviously stayed. They saw that Villiers, he's there at the back, he's isolated. So all they had to do was just beat one guy. I don't know. No one knows. I don't think he really knows what he did. I mean, he's standing there, slips, guy goes through his legs. He turns around. What just happened there? And now you're 7-0, and now you try and you look up. Oh, my goodness, what a disaster. Look at the time on the clock. 1:37.
1.5.
You're 7-0
Yeah.
down, and you want to come back. Oh, no, good Lord. That was just absolute mayhem. So next slide, please, Danny, quickly move. Go to the next.
I was just about to say that. I
But
was like, okay, let's move. Let me move on to the
excellent
next
play by
play.
New Zealand. I mean, yeah, New Zealand, so well played, so well read. That was brilliant from them.
Yes. So let's move on to the next play before Rifle has some type of a medical emergency. So yeah, so this is Italy against South Africa in the pool stage. This is the second of 3 games in the pool stage. And this is the game you just mentioned a few minutes ago that I think you said South Africa has never beaten Italy.
No,
So
first
for
time we've
them,
gone through to the quarterfinals, yeah.
so this was a huge win, needless to say, for the women's Springboks against Italy here. And I just want to highlight this play is just so right there. Wow, what a hit. This was I mean, let me just run that again. This is the first thing I saw on this play is boom. Wow, what a hit. So now we have continued tough, hard-nosed rugby going on right here with the woman. They just keep fighting. And nice little breakout play. Nice little pass. There you go. And if anybody notices there, another dummy. And for those of you thinking, what does dummy mean? Dummy just means a fake pass, a head
Yeah.
fake, pretty much. So let me just find that again. Just replay it. I believe it's right here. Look at that. Oh, wow. What an amazing fake right there. Opened up the lanes and boom. Perfect pass, score for the women's Springboks. Wow. What an
And the
amazing
woman
play.
there, if you notice, play very much like we used to. Our DNA is just big, brutal forwards, and you just hammer and hammer, recycle, get the ball back to the forwards. You go in, you hammer, you win meter by meter by meter. And by doing that, you tire out the other team, and eventually there is a hole or 2 holes that will appear somewhere in their defense. You just got
Yeah.
to know where to take them. But look at our forwards, how strong they are. And just those big hits and going forward, getting the ball, giving to another forward, big hit, going forward, another forward, ruck, maul, go the whole time forward. And then you swing it to the backs. That's our DNA. That's how we play rugby and win in South Africa.
And obviously equivalent to that for all you American football fans is an offense that runs the ball frequently, tires the defense out. And then once you tire the defense out, you open up your wide receivers for a pass. So it's a very similar situation there. If you want to equate it to American football, it's like you said, you tire that defense out, and eventually there's gonna be a little gap in the defense because the defense eventually gets tired. So yeah, great play from the women's Springboks. And then last play I wanted to highlight here is the U.S. versus Samoa. Please forgive me, everyone. I don't remember if this was the second game, second of 3, or the third game. And I believe this was the third game in the pool stage. Please forgive me, everyone, I don't remember at the moment. But yeah, in this play, we have the Women's Eagles against Samoa. Again, toughness. Wow, look at it. And then we just breaking tackles, scoring the try. It's just, I wanted to highlight a couple of things here. I mean, we get the ball. So that player right there gets, oh, I missed it. Sorry about that. Boom. So this player right here, oof, that was a huge hit right before she offloads the ball. Is that the correct terminology, Rifle?
Correct, yes. Yep.
So, offloads the ball. And for all of you out there who doesn't know what offload is a player who's getting tackled but is able to pass the ball to a teammate. That's what an offload is. So yeah, that player was able to offload the ball, but she paid the price for it with a huge hit from a Samoan player right there. And then this is just determination and will to score right there. Another great score for the U.S. Women's Eagles. Tough and determination. So yeah, those are the highlights. I wanted to just share with everyone. So yeah, Rifle. As always, this past weekend, a great weekend of rugby, and this weekend again more great rugby in the Rugby Championship. Also, you have the quarterfinals for the Women's Rugby World Cup. So, as always, and we've spoken about this earlier in the year, where this summer is going to be a lot of great rugby in the summer. Of course, summer, Northern Hemisphere, and the Southern Hemisphere is winter. So, yeah, a lot of great rugby that occurred, and a lot of great rugby to occur in the future over the next few weeks. So, it's a lot of exciting rugby to come.
Yes, indeed.
So, with that, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode covering round 3 of the 2025 Rugby Championship and also an overview of the 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup occurring in England. So, yeah, and this weekend, more great rugby going on. Again, quarterfinals of the Women's Rugby World Cup. And then you have round 4 of the 2025 Rugby Championship. So I'm sure you're excited for this weekend as well, Rifle.
Very excited, yeah. The Springboks have picked almost a brand new team with a lot of youngsters in there. So maybe looking towards 2027 with these guys. And New Zealand also just picked their team today. So the same. Quite a few changes with a lot of youngsters in there. So we're trying to see who's going to look better 2 or 3 years from now with the guys that are playing on Saturday. But also just Argentina and Australia to see if Argentina can come back and square it up again, win one, lose one. So it's going to be wonderful rugby. Very excited. So very, very looking forward to the weekend that's up and coming.
And I'll be rooting for the Springboks as well. So hopefully they could pull out a win against New Zealand this weekend. We shall see.
We hope so, yes.
So again, with that, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And Rifle, thank you as always for your knowledge and wisdom about rugby. And we'll see everyone next week. Take care, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you for watching this episode of Rugby with Rifle. Remember to press the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet to support this podcast.